the Simba Hybrid Pro Mattress. It's a mattress I tried to get for a long time, and they finally relented and said, okay, you can have one for free. You'll have to sign a gift agreement, but implicit in that agreement is only that I have to get it out with a certain time frame. So they have no control over my video. It's completely my own opinion, and whatever I say sticks. And that's it. So I got it for free. It's interesting to me, and hopefully it's interesting to you, because like the Hybrid Pro uses micro conical pocket springs. So of course, pocket springs means they are individual springs. Although they're all wrapped together and glued together in a material, the springs themselves are individual. They move individually, unlike the old inner coil springs where it's all one spring and you move on one bit, the rest of it will move as well. Pocket springs move individually. The thing to remember here, it's conical means it's tapered at one end. It can collapse to the width of a single wire, the gauge of the wire, rather than each turn collapsing in on itself. It collapses right down, but they are micro. These pocket springs are 2.5 centimeters high. It's always confusing to people that, oh, I press it and it completely collapses. Let's get this straight. These are near the top of the mattress. These are there to aid the comfort parts of the mattress. You get two parts of the mattress. You get areas that are there for comfort, to wrap around your body to make you feel, oh yeah, that's quite comfortable. It's soft, or it's medium soft. And then you get the base layers, the bottom or the middle layers. They are there to physically hold you up, to stop you sinking right down. So it's a graduated support. So when you get full-size pocket springs nearer the base of the mattress, they are there to hold you up. They give you deep down support. I like full-size pocket springs. They do work well. But micro pocket springs are there to aid the comfort layers, the ones that you say, oh yeah, I quite like that. They add durability. On paper, they should add durability to the top comfort layers. They also add an amount of spring. So rather than being a completely dull feel that certainly you would get on memory foam, you get a bit more spring. Of course, foam, one of the problems with foam is not that responsive. Memory foam being the worst, and modern polyurethane foams being a lot better. But for a long time, the problem with foam mattresses is you press down, you get up, and it's left an impression of your body, and it takes a time to come back. And how quick that comes back, they call responsiveness. Micro pocket springs near the top aid responsiveness and give you a sense of spring below. How much? That's a matter of debate. In the Simba Hybrid mattress, they say up to 2,500 of them. That's a single layer of micro pocket springs. In the Hybrid Pro, you have two layers, one on top of the other. So you now have up to 5,000, they say. That's in a king size mattress. When you lay springs on top of each other, you call that in series. If you have 2.5 centimeter micro pocket springs, you put one 2.5 centimeter on top of the other one. It's like having a 5 centimeter spring, except that you'll collapse further. So because of Hooke's law, you double the height of your springs. The amount those springs collapse is quite interesting. It's the same. So you get 2 times the amount you would have collapsed before. It's going to feel a bit softer as well. It's also interesting because we have a wool top layer. Wool is great because it has temperature regulating properties, not just to sleep cool, but also to sleep warm when it's cold. So it's like magic. It knows to keep you cool. It knows to keep you hot. This is why sheep are covered in wool. It's temperature regulating. That's a nice material, and that's a bit different from mattresses that I've personally reviewed previously. We also have the signature Simbatex. So what is Simbatex? Well, that's evolved over the time Simba's been around. It was originally a synthetic latex. It's now a polyurethane latex. That would be a bit of magic. It's now a polyurethane foam. It's their particular blend, their mix, their way of pouring. So all these polyurethanes will be a bit different. You can't just say, well, that's polyurethane, that's polyurethane. They will have different properties depending on how they've been mixed. In the case of Simbatex, the current Simbatex polyurethane foam, but it has graphite embedded into it. So it's got graphite within the layer, and graphite adds durability. It also makes it a bit more flame retardant, but most noticeably, it helps with cooling. So again, you add some graphite to your polyurethane foam, you improve the temperature regulating properties of that foam. Hopefully all this adds up to sleeping cooler, because The pocket springs also allow a bit more airflow, and that's also going to help with cooling. So on paper, to me, this is about sleeping cool. Thing to remember about wool, it's not like sleeping on foam. Doesn't have the point elasticity of foam. It doesn't wrap around you in quite the same way. So you need to know what you're laying. Just in the same way if you was to go from a latex to a memory foam, completely different. You need to know what you're getting before you can say, oh, I'd rather have memory foam. Well, understand the differences between the different layers and how they feel. Simba have been around since 2015. It's called Simba because that was the name of the partner of one of the co-founders. Currently they have a 200-night trial. It's normally a 100-night trial, but since we've had the COVID crisis, we're getting a 200-night trials. Also, I have to say, if you're a key worker, most of these companies are giving you extra discounts over and above whatever is available on the website. So if you're a key worker, you might want to contact them direct to ask what's available for you. It's also the normal, it's a bed in a box, of course. It comes in a box, it comes vacuum packed. I did do an unboxing and unpacking. You'll take off the plastic wrapping and it will magically rise in front of you. They say ready to sleep on in a few hours, and a lot of these companies do. To credit to Simba, they also say ready to sleep on in a few hours, but hey, give it 3 days to fully deflate before you start compressing, decompressing it, and give it a chance to actually get to its full height. But also, I would always say 72 hours before you sleep on it, let it air in a well-ventilated room, because all of these mattresses will off-gas. Off-gassing doesn't have to be a terrible thing. It's just that you do get volatile organic compounds, and they do leach, but they'll leach mostly in the first few days. So best to let it air for the first few days. Much less of a problem after that. You can try and buy Simba, the Simba Hybrid and the Simba Hybrid Pro in stores, probably most notably John Lewis. They also say several local associated independent stores and Benson for Beds. So it's an online mattress, but you can also get it in some of these major high street stores. Another headline for this mattress is CertiPur certified. CertiPur is great because it means the polyurethane foam, and remember always, specific to the polyurethane foam. CertiPur is only about the polyurethane foam, which would cover memory foam as well. And it means there are greater controls over the normal EU regulations, the UK regulations, as to what chemicals can go in, the total amount of VOCs that it can give off, and the amounts of these chemicals. So over and above, you'd hope that it was already strict controls, but over and above the already there controls, CertiPur is another layer of peace of mind for you when it comes to polyurethane foam. It's even stricter controls over what could possibly be in it and off-gassing. Not all of them are CertiPur certified. Simba is. That's a kind of quick overview. You want to know how it feels? I'm going to try it out. The Simba Hybrid Pro. It is what I would term a true medium firm feel. Now, there's a lot that goes into how you perceive the firmness and how the mattress feels to you, but in terms of how much it will actually sink for a given amount of weight, it's middle ground. So alongside the likes of ErgoFlex, and it's softer than the likes of Emma Original, Eve, Otti Hybrid. Although it's been a while, people are pointing out that I've reviewed the Otti Hybrid, so it's softer than the firmer mattresses, and of course being middle ground, it's a little bit firmer than the softer ones, the likes of Unecta. The Simba Hybrid that I personally reviewed, that was also a little bit older now, certainly firmer than the likes of Huggy, Emma Hybrid, and the Una mattress in all its configurations. Yeah, but mate, is it comfortable? So I hate talking about comfort because it is so subjective. Does it mean anything to me if someone says they found a mattress comfortable? Absolutely not, because you have completely different requirements from a mattress. So I read this all the time in the reviews. Yeah, and I found this mattress really comfortable, but what does that mean? So yeah, did I find this comfortable? I did. Does that mean it's going to be comfortable for you? No, you've got to understand what you're looking for. And that's why I try and tell you the relative differences between mattresses and hope you get a handle from there on what was going to suit you. So it's a proper medium firm. I am about average weight, just under 14 stone. So I get plenty of support. And there's enough give when I'm on my shoulder. However, I would say when you take this mattress in combination, so you've got the pocket springs below, there is a fair amount of bounce. There is a fair amount of pushback. It's not the most shoulder friendly. So there is give, you can see, I hope you can see, it's certainly giving it the shoulder. There is zoning on the bottom to help that. But there is a certain amount of pushback because you've basically got 5cm springs that are quite near the top of the mattress. So good on the back if you want a medium firm mattress. But remember what I said about wool. So it's not that molding. The point elasticity is not quite up there with a lot of the other pure foam mattresses that I've tried. And possibly a lot of that is down to having a little bit of wool on the top, which we'll get to. Going to show you the layers. But it's going to be very tummy friendly. Medium firms, unless you're really, really heavy and you're going to want a firmer mattress. So you're not going to sink in too much. There is a fair amount of pushback. So I think it's, you know, a general all-round sort of firmness. If you bear in mind, there is, as you get with springs, and certainly when they're nearer the top, like the Simba Hybrid Pro, it's not going to be that shoulder friendly. Certainly going to be back friendly and more tummy friendly than it would be shoulder friendly, but it's not bad. So it's not like your Bruno type of firmness where it's incredibly firm, and I could never really say get that if you sleep on your side. This is an all-round mattress. Just bear in mind, unlike memory foam, there is a fair amount of pushback, and that's not going to suit you on your side where you're going to get pressure on your shoulder. But yeah, I found this comfortable, but I still say it's probably more about cooling what this mattress is geared for. So I've talked about some of the properties. We talked about the firmness. It does have the pocket springs. One of the problems with pocket springs is not great on the edge. So what do? They box it in. This is boxed in. There's 10 centimeters of polyurethane foam going around the edging. Quite firm. So you're going to get good edge support, very good edge support. So any roll-off effect, I'm not getting any roll-off effect, as you can see. I'm not rolling off. People still tell me they get roll-off effects on some of the mattresses. I say have no roll-off effect. I can only assume you're a lot heavier than me, and of course that's going to change things. You've got everything's going to be relative to your weight and to my weight. Bear in mind, just under 14 stone. So the edge support I will show you, and like all my mattresses, I stand on the edge. It doesn't give away completely. In the case of Simba Hybrid Pro, maybe 30% of its height is giving way. So that's actually pretty good. Bear in mind, it's not the pocket springs are there, and that's the firmer foam boxing in, encapsulated springs, they call it as well. It is very common with pocket springs to box them in. In terms of edge support, I found Simba Hybrid Pro very good. You know, it's up there with the best of the mattresses I've tried. I don't see roll-off effect being a problem. I'm not going to say it's not going to happen, because people keep saying, yeah, well, it did happen to me. Well, it didn't happen to me, and in terms of relative to my other mattresses, found it very good. I mentioned the bounce, the spring back. How bouncy is it? Well, if I use a tennis ball, there's a fair amount of bounce, but that's really only telling me the top layer. That's telling me how much bounce is in the top layer, because my tennis ball does not have a lot of mass, doesn't have a lot of weight. It's not going to go as far deep into the mattress as you would do in reality. So in reality, I use a series of kettlebells. I test it with a series of weights, and doing that, I found the amount of bounce to be pretty good. As again, as I said, we've got 5 centimeters pocket springs basically near the top of the mattress. You would expect, you would hope for, I mean, if you're buying this mattress, I would hope you're thinking, yeah, I'm going to get a bit of bounce, a bit of spring out of that, and you certainly are. It is a bouncy, springy mattress. Combined with the medium firm level, I would say it's a good mattress for sex. For me, I don't know what your parameters are, but for me, it's got to be not too soft, not too firm. It's got to have a decent comfort level paired with some good bounce, what I call feedback. So there is a fair amount of feedback. It is quite bouncy, and I would say that was a good mattress for sex. It is amazingly common, to be honest, for that, and so that's why I put it right out there and say straight out, yeah, I think it's a decent option. Just always bear in mind how heavy you are. I talked about the point elasticity. I said it wasn't that brilliant. We do have wool on top, which doesn't really, well, it's not point elasticity friendly. It does give you other properties. That's why some people prefer wool to foam, or the other way around, because not everybody likes to be completely molded in certain areas and not in other areas. Some people want a more even feel. Wool will give you a more even feel. So in terms of point elasticity, not the best I've tried, but it's still good. It's just that we're comparing it to, you know, some memory foam mattresses that I've tried and pure foam on top mattresses. A 16 kilo weight, and it's affecting out to about there. So you can do better, but that's not terrible. If you get an old mattress and you did that, you'd probably find it as affected out the same way like that. And that's the sort of mattresses you're getting your backaches on. So it's medium firm. has a fair amount of spring. Probably not going to be that great for motion transfer. So how great is it? So we'll test it again with a variety of weights, using a variety of size bottles, seeing how far out the motion goes and how many bottles I fall over. I find Simba Hybrid a kind of middle ground, so you can certainly do better. Certainly the memory foam mattresses excel for motion transfer when that memory foam is on top. So the likes of Ergoflex and Huggy, out on their own really for motion transfer, but certainly the Simba Pro better than some of the others I've tried, like the Visganti with its full-size pocket springs. The latex Una, because latex very springy. Of course, the Bruno, the extremely firm Bruno. So there is some. It's not like if you was on a Super King, someone moves at one end, you won't feel it at the other. There is a reasonable amount of motion transfer. It's just not up there with some of the pure memory foam mattresses. It's not going to be a strong point of a pocket sprung mattress. Simba Hybrid Pro cover. Remember, they stress and stress and stress. This is not a removable cover. I believe it's a warranty issue, but you need to check that if you remove the cover. However, there is a zip and it can be removed in an emergency, but it's not the easiest to use. So it's just the top third. So it's basically the zip just is enough for them to put the cover on when they manufacture it. And so it's not something you're going to be wanting to take on and off. And as I said, it's a warranty issue, I believe, if you do that. They say don't do it. It's not washable. There should be no reason to take it off. If you have marks, you're going to have to spot clean. It is indeed 99% polyester on top with 1% elastane. Elastane is lycra. It's that stretchy material. It's not the thinnest cover I've ever had, but it's reasonably thin. It's reasonably thin, reasonably stretchy. It's going to be reasonably breathable, but there is a slight thickness to it. It has these micro diamond shaped or square shaped tiny little quilts as a pattern. We have fabric on the sides. It's quite nicely presented. So it's not white grey, it's white and kind of a light pale blue with a lighter blue edging and a bit of Simba branding, which is actually on the other side. What I do like is you've got handles on the side. They do make a big play about don't use these handles to lift the mattress, only use it to rotate. Talking about rotating, it does say on the label, rotate mattress monthly. Remember, it does state it actually in the warranty terms about rotating a mattress. Any mattress, it's important to rotate it, especially the first 30 days. In terms of Simba, they stress it and they actually put down what you meant to do. I think it's monthly for the first 6 months or something, and then like every 3 months. But you will need to rotate it, and you should be rotating anyway to keep wear even. So handles are there, they say, to aid rotation. The sides is 100% polyester, I believe. So the base, which incorporates, I believe, this portion of the sides, is 100% polypropylene. In terms of cleaning, they say, the grey base fabric can be cleaned with a soft, damp and clean cloth using circular motions, and I guess spot cleaning the top. So it is a polyester cover, which is very common. Just remember, polyester is still petrochemicals and it's not covered by the CertiPur, but the foam within the mattress is covered. Polyester though, they do use a lot. It's very durable, very stretchy, retains its shape, and it's very wicking without absorbing any moisture, or very little moisture. That's the mattress. The most interesting thing to me is always what have they got inside. I'm not taking the cover off completely because it would be a nightmare, if not impossible, I think, to get back on. But that's enough for you to clearly see the mattress. So we're talking about, it's got wool on top. Wool is brilliant in that it's temperature regulating. The most common issue people say about sleeping on foam, all types of foam, I'm getting really hot. That's going to be an issue with foam. It's also going to be an issue if it's a soft. The more you sink in, the more potential there is for you to heat up. So if sleeping hot is an issue, get a firmer mattress, get one where you're laying nearer the top, nearer the surface of the foam. to reduce the potential. But wool is temperature regulating. It's brilliant. Sheep apparently love wool because it keeps them warm in the winter, cooler in the summer. It absorbs up to 30% of its weight in moisture and then releases it into the cooler parts of the mattress. That's what it does on paper, but it does seem to do that if you look at the feedback on wool toppers. Now, I will say, how much have we got? We've got 1/2 centimetre. So it's not like having a topper on top, which is probably a good thing, because wool is not for everybody. As I said, wool toppers are often used to even out a bad mattress, because you don't have the point elasticity that you do get with foam, but not everybody loves that very point moulding feel. So some people do prefer a more even feel. They will like wool toppers, but you've got enough here to make a difference. So below that we have our 2.5 centimetres of Simbatex. But you have a decent, this is wool batting, by the way. If you had wool in the base, it would be different. It would be compressed fibres, but this comes in a sheet, as you can see. It's all one piece. This is wool batting. Below that, the Simbatex. You can see little flecks, which I'm assuming is the charcoal, is the graphite. Well, it's all carbon at the end of the day. There are slight differences, but basically we're talking carbon, and you do get that charcoaly colour. I don't know how much is in there. If you had, I believe 20%, that's enough to make it flame retardant without having to have extra chemicals. And I don't know about how much is in there with the Simba, but there's enough to actually visibly see it. So on paper, temperature regulating Simbatex, which is polyurethane foam, but with graphite, which is going to also aid the cooling. As you can see, highly responsive. That's instant. That's instant, and that's to do those pocket springs. So where are the pocket springs? So this is the boxing in. This is a firmish, in fact, almost as firm as a base, which is why we have great edge support. Boxing in. We have 10 centimetres of boxing in, as you would expect. These, you would not want to sleep with these on the edge. And it's very common, even with full-size springs, to box them in. These are our micro pocket springs. As you can see, we have a double layer. They are conical. They do collapse when you do that, exactly as you would expect, but they are providing a frame to the foam above. And when you double them up, there's more resistance. You can feel how significantly more resistance they are. It's like having a 5 centimetre instead of a 2.5 centimetre, but you still travel a little bit further because of Hooke's law. So I think, having slept on the Simba as well, if you like a springy mattress, it's certainly going to work better than the hybrid. So that's what you're paying for, partly the wool, the double layer of pocket springs, micro pocket springs, if that's a feel that you like, but it will feel springy. Now, you normally expect probably memory foam below that, but there's no memory foam. I don't know, is that because is this all about sleeping cool? And of course, memory foam, even that far down mattress, it's going to retain any heat that it gets, but it also helps with some of the moulding feel and the motion transfer that you get from the mattress. We have what you'd call a transitional layer. They call it reflex foam being a high density polyurethane foam. That's what it is. So in terms of firmness, it's transitional. I think having a transition layer does work well between the comfort and the base layers, and you don't really get that much. So that's obviously firm. But in terms of the firmness, it's not quite as firm as the base. It's obviously softer than your Simbatex. So it's basically a transitional layer. And then you have your base layer. This is your, so we've got 16 centimetres for your base, 5 centimetres for your transitional layer, 4 centimetres for your boxing in, which is interesting given that we've got 5 centimetres of pocket springs, and that is the case. They are slightly above the boxing, so I'm not sure how that works with the Simbatex, but that is 4 centimetres, even though you've got 5 centimetres of springs, and you've got your 2.5 centimetres of Simbatex and your 0.5 centimetres of wool batting. That is interesting. So that is different from, you know, a lot of these mattresses are basically base layer, memory foam, and a polyurethane on top. And well, certainly when they first came out, they were all like that. But this is a bit different. We have zoning on the bottom, as I said, and what's the idea of that? Well, obviously that's to give a bit, it weakens the foam in that area. Cutting channels like that is called castellated foam, and you get a bit more give. So if I push down there, nothing happening there, but you can start to see it's weaker there, so there's a bit more give. It's at the top rather than the bottom, so that's good. It has more effect when it's at the top of the base layer, because further and further down the mattress, the less and less you are affecting it. So we have a little bit for the hip area and a wider amount there for the shoulders. Don't forget I said CertiPur, 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 CertiPur. So all the polyurethane foams are CertiPur certified. Is it smelly, mate? Well, I have to tell you, even with my extreme smell test, there's the faintest hint of a smell. This is basically a low smell, no smell mattress. There was a little bit more of a smell when I first got it, when I first unwrapped it. It was not a room filling smell, it was a smell when I went close up. Oh, then I get it slightly chemical. At this point, yes, almost zero. So this is a low smelling mattress. A lot of mattresses that I would have like 3 weeks on, as I have this now, would still be ponging. In terms of that, this is low smell to no smell mattress. So it's their pro version. It's obviously not going to be cheap. As at the moment, it's of course retail price changes all the time, and the deals change all the time. But if I go by retail, average price is £823. You can certainly pay mega money for mattresses. But in terms of the online mattresses that I have personally tried, there are hundreds of mattresses to try. I only tried a few of them. It's one of the more expensive, but not by a lot. I mean, I don't think it's that much more than the Hybrid, and it's certainly less than others that you can buy, including online. Just know what you're buying, what you're paying for. Some people think, well, I'm paying a bit more. Shit, it's going to be more comfortable, isn't it? Well, no. Comfort is very subjective. The first thing you want is body friendly. And that doesn't mean, when I had my back issues, which is a lot better now, the mattresses where I woke up with least pain were not the most comfortable to sleep on. They were the one that gave me the most support. I do love to sink into a mattress and a hugging effect, but it's not body friendly for me. There are areas of my body which are not completely properly aligned. They need a bit more support. So don't run away with thinking I'm paying more, it's going to be more comfortable, and that means it's better for me. No, it could be better for you, but not be that comfortable. And that's why I always say, I think in most of my videos, I ended up fine-tuning all my mattresses with a topper. I found that was the best way. Get the best one for me that was body friendly, and get the comfort I want with a topper. And that topper I can take from mattress to mattress. In terms of the warranty, they all have amount of dip. They all say 10-year, or some of them a bit more, 10-year warranty for the onlines, and they all say how much dip they consider should be visible before they consider that warranty issue. Most of them, it is 2.5 centimeters. Simba a little bit different. I will point out that it changes by how long you've had the mattress. So have a look at the warranty. It ranges between 2.5 centimeters and 4.5 centimeters after you've had it for a period of time. Before, that's a warranty issue, and also, as I said, taking off the cover, warranty issue. I believe, I didn't check that, but I remember it used to be. And rotating it, warranty issue, make sure you rotate that, but that's good practice anyway. So overall, I think we've got a good option here. All right, it's a little bit more pricey, but it is a middle ground mattress. It's a middle ground mattress with some spring, less molding. Some people will like that. And for sleeping cool, you know, so many people, can I get something that sleeps a bit cooler? Well, you know, you could try opening the windows, but to be honest, it's a problem with foam, and it's a problem with the more you sink into a mattress. So for many reasons, this mattress is one of the better options for sleeping cooler. Even though it's only 0.5 centimeter of wool, it's enough to make a difference. I can feel the difference that wool is making to the Simba below. It's enough to give it a more even feel, and very obvious the springs below it. So if you're someone who said, well, I didn't feel the springs on me Hybrid, you're certainly going to feel that. You've got double height now on the Hybrid Pro. So I give it a thumbs up. Hope you found my Simba Hybrid Pro review useful, and I thank you for watching.